Industry Idiocracy, taking back Twitter, and TikToking down again? Welcome to the Unlimited Supply Podcast, your daily music business TLDR in your ear, powered by a punishing amount of TikTok scrolling and trolling, and brought to you by Nodisk, helping music, technology, and finance companies navigate the music industry, and partnered with Digital Music News. It's December 17th, 2025. I'm Lars Murray. It's Viral Wednesday, but before we go viral, some unhappy holiday news. Well, the music industry is one step closer to Idiocracy today. On Monday, over in the Wrap, Corbin Bolies reported a bunch of layoffs over at Penske Media, which owns Billboard and Rolling Stone, among other publications. Specifically, at Billboard, 4 skilled and relevant reporters that we've cited here countless times have been laid off, including old friend, former co-worker, and Finance Friday stalwart Glenn Peoples, who's been specializing in the finance side of the biz, thoughtful deep diver Rob Levine, Dave Brooks, who explains the live universe, and Steve Knopper, the guy who literally wrote the book about the industry's near-death experience with Napster and the internet in general in the early 2000s. If you haven't read his book, Appetite for Self-Destruction, you are not industry literate yet. The industry and Billboard are the worse off for these layoffs. There's a lot of wisdom and good writing in those 4 going out the door, so hopefully someone will snap them up, or hopefully they can land on their feet on their own. Hey guys, let me know if you want to talk. Again, Corbin Bolies broke the exclusive over at the Wrap. All right, let's get viral. If you blinked, you may have missed the fact that yet another TikTok forced sale or ban deadline TikToked down and whooshed right by yesterday with no forced sale and no ban. Hard to believe it's been less than a year since the original deadline, given how many deadlines have passed since then with no resolution, and TikTok continues along as if the bipartisan legislation to force that sale or ban never existed. Over in social media today, Andrew Hutchinson called attention to this latest non-deadline and also managed to suss out that according to legal documents from the September theoretical sale agreement, the actual shutdown deadline was not yesterday, December 16th, but it's actually January 23rd. You're always in uncharted waters in social media, but it's rare that we get into uncharted legal enforcement waters like those of the TikTok Sea. So, hit snooze on that TikTok alarm clock until January 23rd. We'll check back in then. Here's some more unhappy social news and a stark illustration of the disconnect between social media and reality. Sadly, TikTok influencer Tucker Genal took his own life earlier this week. His final posts, in light of this development, retrospectively look like a farewell, although without the context of his suicide, they would read as pretty standard year-end posts. Nothing in his TikTok posts really hinted at this kind of problem, and it seems to have taken most people who knew him by surprise. But again, TikTok is not the world, people. R.I.P. to Tucker Genal, and condolences to the 2 brothers he collaborated with and the rest of his family. Stay safe, influencers, especially around the holidays. Carsen Holaday had the story over at The Independent. And on a more hopeful note, in a pretty dismal week in the social sphere, if you keep calling X Twitter, you can stop now. In fact, here's a reason why you should stop. A Virginia startup has been operating in stealth mode, and for good reason. It's called Operation Bluebird, and it announced earlier this week that it's filed a formal petition with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to take back Twitter and tweet from X or Shitter or whatever you want to call it. Certainly X or Shitter or whatever you want to call it isn't using Twitter or tweet. And at least in theory, disused trademarks go back into play. Now, I don't doubt for a minute that Elon Musk will muster a thundering horde of litigators to stave off this utterly commonsensical initiative, but the first thing you can do to help fight him is to stop referring to X as Twitter. You go, Operation Bluebird. Andrew Hutchinson had the full story over at Social Media Today. As for what's actually viral this week, our viral correspondent Lydia Valentino is back this week. What do you got, Lydia?
The big story this week at number 1 on both US Shazam and viral Spotify is Kato's 2010 cover of DJ Jose's Turn the Lights Off. This one falls in the Bloody Mary tradition of replacing audio from a party scene with a different song, this time using a scene of John Hamm dancing in an episode of Your Friends and Neighbors. Maybe this is the new meta for promoting dance music.
Thanks, Lydia. You can go check out Lydia's weekly V30 playlist on YouTube. There's a link in the show notes. In other viral news, this week on the still not sold or banned TikTok, Maren and Zedd's track The Middle crossed 1 million videos created, and it's averaging 43,000 per day on a pretty lame hot girl trend. Sean Paul and Dua Lipa's No Lie, tweaked and uploaded by TikTok user Gabello, is blowing up this week. 323,000 creates in 11 days, and it's rocking along at $50K per day on an outfits I can't wait to wear when winter is over trend. Links to these trends are in the show notes. And that's another Viral Wednesday. If you're a label, distributor, or publisher and want to provide advance funds to help your artists invest in their careers with zero risk to your business, you should be working with Roy-Fi. Roy-Fi will provide everything you need to make the advance, the funding, the technology, and the risk. They will assume the risk for you. Best of all, it costs you nothing, and you can even make some extra money along the way. Roy-Fi provides advance funds for some of the biggest and most respected distributors in the industry. For more info, hit me up directly or visit royfi.com. And we're supported by Hangout.fm. Hangout by Turntable Labs is the new social listening platform where users connect, discover new music, and play over 100 million songs with their friends and family. If you like what you hear, please hit that follow button wherever you get your pods. I live for your praise and encouragement, but don't just tell me. Seriously, it only matters if you drop us a rating and or a review on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify, and tell a friend or three. Links are in the show notes, but you can also visit unlimitedsupplypod.com to sign up for our newsletter, to tell us what you think about the show, to suggest feature ideas, to feed us info, to feed us lunch, to call us out on our dubious assertions, and to tell us what we're missing out on. I'm Lars Murray, and remember, in this business, no conflict means no interest.